morning, everyone. It is 8:30 on Monday, May the 16th, and it's time for the morning briefing. Snapshot of the region this morning. Updated numbers from the unaccompanied children as of this morning. Those numbers have been constant, plus or minus a couple for many weeks now. No declaration changes to talk about this morning. You see the updated numbers from our ongoing damage assessment for 4269 in Texas. And we have no fire management grant requests to talk about this morning. Now as we switch over to the Geo platform this morning, lots of things going on around the region today. Mark's going to tell us all about the weather in just a moment. No changes at the national level. Both are at level 4 steady state, as is the region. Our state EOCs all remain at level 4 steady state. No changes to our IMAP. One is deployed to Texas, 2 is deployed to Oklahoma. Looking at shelters this morning, we do have 2 shelters in Nueces County due to the flash flooding that occurred over the evening. No known occupants at that time. We haven't gotten any numbers. And looking at power outages as of 7:15 this morning, Arkansas is at 3, Louisiana 231, New Mexico 214, Oklahoma has 10, and Texas the most with 12,490. Now we'll turn it over to Mark to tell us all about the weather.
All righty, good morning, everybody. It's going to be a wet week across Fema 6, and as Paul has mentioned, in Nueces County, we did see some heavy rainfall overnight. Parts of the county received up to 10 inches of rain, including in and around the Corpus Christi area, and we still do have flash flood warnings there. Even though the heaviest of the rainfall has moved out, there's still a lot of standing water. That rainfall is going to be progressing into southeast Texas for today, so there will be a flash flood watch or flash flood threat there, and then later in the day into southwest Louisiana. And with the front coming into the southern plains, we're already starting to see some shower and thunderstorm activity break out across northern Oklahoma, and we'll see that trend continue through the day with the threat of severe weather across that area, as well as some heavy rainfall. And we continue with, once again, a red flag warning over southeastern New Mexico and portions of West Texas. So we're going to see that front kind of waffle its way back and forth across a good deal of Fema 6 over the next several days. As a result, we're going to see pretty heavy rainfall threat over Oklahoma, Arkansas, Texas, and Louisiana here for the next several days, with some areas receiving widespread 5 to 7 and then some localized heavier rainfalls. Right now, the rivers are in pretty good shape. We still do have some minor river flooding over portions of eastern Oklahoma into Arkansas and Louisiana, so we'll likely see some rises. But at this time, it doesn't look like we're going to be looking at any widespread river flooding. But we did have one flashy point there, Oso Creek near Corpus Christi, with the heavy rainfall there. You can see the river gauge, just how quickly that went up to major flood stage. Doesn't look like that river has impacted any homes, and it should be coming down later on today. But again, that just shows you how flashy some of these river basins can be, especially small creeks like Oso Creek. So here for today, we do have an enhanced risk of severe thunderstorms over portions of northwest Oklahoma to the Texas Panhandle, surrounded by a slight risk area. For the most part, it looks like damaging winds and hail will be the main threat for today. The overall tornado threat is fairly small. And then tomorrow, the enhanced risk shifts further to the south across portions of central and then into west central Texas, with a slight risk area extending into southeastern Oklahoma, southern Arkansas, and western Louisiana. And again, it looks like mainly a hail and damaging wind threat. But pretty much each and every day, we're going to see at least the threat for some heavy rainfall and flooding across a good deal of Oklahoma, Arkansas, Texas, and then into Louisiana. And the precipitation, what we're looking at for today, is widespread, about 2 to 3 inches of rain across portions of the upper Texas coast into southeastern Texas, but some localized 5 to 6 inches amounts, so that could cause some localized flooding. And as we head into the remainder of the week, Still widespread, about 2 to 4 inches of rain across generally the eastern half of the region, with some locally heavier amounts, and even some pretty decent rainfall totals as the next system begins to move from the west coast. We'll start to see towards the end of the week some rainfall into New Mexico, which they will be looking forward to. And as we look at the drought monitor, you still see there is some pretty enhanced drought across New Mexico. So again, that rainfall will be welcome, but obviously the rain over the waterlogged areas of South and Southeast Texas not welcome. And on to space weather, we did have a G1, a minor storm, earlier this morning that has actually passed. And so we're going to start to see the sun kind of quiet down here over the next couple of days, and really not looking forward to many major impacts there. So that concludes my briefing for this morning, Paul, and I'll be happy to take any questions.
Thank you, sir. If you have any questions, you know what to do. In the meantime, let's take a look at the events going on around the region. We do have the risk meeting later this week. And this is Hurricane Preparedness Week. So the average life of a hurricane is how many days? Anyone want to take a shot at that? I see some numbers coming in. Everyone. And Mr. Parks has it right. 9 days. Today I highlight develop an evacuation plan in a hurricane-prone area. Any other questions this morning? All right, everyone have a great Monday. We'll talk to you tomorrow.